You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May, putting you in the driver's seat to control your finances. Let's start the Practical Wealth Talk about alternatives to Wall Street.
Hey, so welcome back to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show, where we talk about money and all other things that create wealth in your life. We want you to basically live the best life you can right now. And so I want to give a shout out. I actually had the opportunity to, and I want to thank Marissa. I always pronounce her last name wrong. Bloedoorn. Sorry, Marissa. I'm going to get her on the show, but she had a great event called Taking Center Stage, Own It. And it was owned there, all of her stuff. And so basically how to take center stage in your life, career, and your business. So it was a personal development conference. And, because what are your number one asset is you. So you got to invest in your mindset, your skill set, and your network. As I just paid for my trip to go to the Prosperity Economic Summit with Kim Butler. So I'm excited about going back out there and because steel sharpens steel, folks. So if you want to be the best, you got to get around the best, right? And so at this event, I ended up being I got there and we met a few weeks ago and she was introduced me by one of my clients. Oh, you got to have Curtis on your program. And she had somebody that had dropped out that she wanted to talk about finances. So she felt that rounded out her program. So I got a chance to talk on, what did we talk on? The top was make the most of your money today. I really talked about the two defining moments. One, your money will never be worth more than it is today. And two, what was number two? The two is you're in the lowest tax bracket you ever be in, and how those two things, basically the lies and why traditional. I said, look, in 15 minutes, I don't have time to give you a whole lot of answers, but I'm going to ask some really good questions, and I'm going to challenge the way you think, right? And so along comes a woman, her name is Elaine Scales, so she spoke second, and her talk was the 4 S's to transformation. So I'm not going to give the talk away because I'm going to get her on the show, and I want her to go over this because I want to share her with you because I think her message was so powerful. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. And so one of the things that she talked about, and today I'm going to talk about transformation. That's really what this is about. And that's work. And so she put words to what I was feeling and the work, because what I want to do is I want to teach people, one of the things I always say, I want to teach people to think, not being told what to think. But Wall Street propaganda machine has such good marketing. And so most people will think they train you basically you're not smart enough. You don't have the time, the temperament, or the train to personally manage your own investments. And so when you think of investments, you think all your money has to go into 401k plans, mutual funds, and you're just going to go to work and let somebody use it for 20, 30 years. And, somehow that's going to take you to glory. And one of the things is how people make the hard choice, which is learn about money, learn to take control of their money. I try to get people to read. It's like pulling teeth. I did a workshop and I mailed out the book. It's like pulling teeth to get people to read a damn book. It's only 140 pages. And it's about your life. It's about your money. I had one guy say, well, I'm reading some other books. I said, listen, I don't care what you're reading. You need to put that book down. And if you want to work with me, you need to finish reading that book. Are you serious about your money or not? It's all right if you're not, but you said you were, so I need you to read this. And we're talking about Money for Life, Jeffrey Reeves' book. So Curtis is kind of an intense coach, right? But it's important stuff. And so when she talked about transformation, because see, what am I trying to do here? See, and what we're doing with the show and what we do with our firm is I want to help you move from a position, and I learned from Dan Sullivan, is I want to help you I want you to make a transformation, okay? And the transformation I'm trying to help people make, and the movement I want to create with Prosperity Economics is I want people to move from economic childhood to economic adulthood. See, if you're in economic childhood, your children are dependent, Okay. Children need people to tell them what to do. And so most people are economic. This sounds really bad. Economic childhood, but basically you depend on the bureaucracies. You need work. You need somebody to give you work to do, so you do it so you get paid. You need governments to take care of it. You need structure, right? And so you need prepackaged things because you don't want to think. Well, I want to move people, and this is not everybody. So listen, if you're not willing to think, do not call me because I'm not your person you should be working with, okay? And so economic adulthood, you're moving to where you want more control. See, if you want more control, you want to learn how money works, you want to take control of the banking function in your life, you want to, learn how to invest that, there's other ways to skin a cat other than Wall Street, you want to learn how to build cash flow, okay, I might be somebody you want to talk to because it's your money. I want you to think. And so I want you to make a transformation from the debt paradigm where you're taught to blindly give money over to banks, to government, and Wall Street, to the money for life paradigm where you can run your personal economy with the same functionality, with the same strategies, with the same mentality as the Buffetts, the Oprahs, the banks, the Wells Fargos, the Bank of America. What if you could follow their lead and handle money like they handle money? See, that's what I try to teach people how to do. And, because the same, so what we always say in person, this is what I talked about at the workshop. I said, look, in personal finance and the financial entertainers, what do they teach? Basic strategies: buy and hold, dollar cost average, get out of debt, buy term, invest the difference. Right? But they don't do that with their money. If you took a corporate finance course, or if you watch how they handle money, they focus on cash flow. Number one, cash flow. You want to buy assets that send you a check every month. Now, not 25 years from now. They focus on velocity. How soon I'm going to put my money into an asset. I want to get my original money back out of that asset. I'm going to keep that asset cash flowing, but I've got my money back. I'm going to put my new money into a new asset. That is called creating velocity. Folks, you ain't never going to win focusing on buying and holding Rule 72 and hoping markets go up. You just don't, if you live to be 300, that might work. But you don't. You have that kind of time. So we have to get money moving, right? Instead of focusing on getting out of debt, you really want to get into more debt. You just want to get into good debt, not bad debt, right? And so while they teach you to buy term, invest the difference, banks, corporations are buying permanent life insurance. Permanent meaning dividend paying whole life insurance, like it's going out of style. They can't get enough of that stuff. But it's well, I heard this on TV, so-and-so said that that's not a good deal, and you won't read a book or read an article or do your own research. And so that's what you must do, right? So that is making that transformation to economic adulthood where you're more entrepreneurial, you're at least an entrepreneurial thinker. You don't have to say be in business, but you're willing to take control of your lives. Well, that's work. So here's what she says. She used the analogy, Elaine, of a butterfly. See, the caterpillar to a butterfly, right? That is a transformation. And she talked about transformation, the 4 C's of that. But one of the things she struck me that I had in my notes is transformation is hard. It's hard work. Transformation is intense. Transformation is bloody. Okay? If you do the work, though, it will be permanent. So if you, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you start to learn the rules of the rich, and you play cash flow and you let that seep into your psyche and you start operating your personal economy like they operate theirs, that is hard because you have to basically unlearn the illusion of knowledge that you think you have, that everybody else is doing the same thing. So, who am I to go against the grain? But, success leaves clues. So all I do, and when I share with people, I try to make sure I'm following a good leader. I'm following people, we do all right, but I want to follow people that are doing better, that the fruits on their tree, that I know that they're fundamentally sound. I try to teach principles, so if you look at the richest man in Babylon, those are principles. Chapter 2, all I do is teach chapter 2, the 7 cures for a lean purse. Part of all you earn is yours to keep. Budget thy expenses. which means manage cash flow. Make your goal multiply, meaning that you, from your savings that you put away, your 10% of your income, you got to put your savings in assets that generate returns, that generate cash flow. You've got to make of your home a proper investment. You've got to guard thy treasures from loss. See, Warren Buffett's rule number 1 is don't lose money. And rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. So they're not trying to take risks. You can't lose money because you're giving away gains. And you've got to, if you have 100,000 and you lose 50%, you've got to earn 100%. I was talking to this person that they were part-time, they're like, oh, I'm a nurse, but during the night I'm a financial coach. Really? And with the same old stuff. I used to be a vice president with that company, so I knew exactly who she was working with. And she has the illusion of knowledge. She thinks she knows something, but she really doesn't. And I hate to say that, but you've got to learn what you're learning, and you got to learn the other side of what you're learning, because there are serious blind spots there. You only have of the truth, and what you know is what the people that train you to sell their financial products want you to know, so you can be good at selling their mutual funds, their insurance, their debt products, and that kind of stuff. And it makes them a lot of money. You make commissions, but in the long run, is it good for the consumer? So you want to make a transformation, right? And so I want people to make a transformation. So when I have people read a book, I'm trying to help them make a transformation. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's intense. I'm intense because you have to be intense to be transformed. It's bloody, and I don't mean that literally, but it's messy. It's hard work. And so that is but if you want to be a butterfly, if you want to become financially independent, you've got to commit to making a transformation. See, and that's all over the place. So if you want to be an entrepreneurial thinker, you have to work at that. If you want to be in business, you've got to make the transformation where you go from being a work processor, where you go to work, you do your work, somebody pays you Friday, to where you've got to learn how to be a work creator. You've got to be I tell people, look, I got this from this book I'm reading, the Warrior Books. I'm a leader, not a savior. I'm a marketer. I'm a closer, right? You have to market. You have to become the rainmaker, And so if you can make it rain in terms of generate leads, you have the control. If you're looking for it, if you know how to make it rain, if you can create leads, if you can create value for other people, you'll never be unemployed. You make as much money as you need to make, but you've got to become more valuable. That's a transformation. So that being a work processor is transformation. Yes, it's hard. It's scary. It's intense. And, but you know what? It's easier than being broke. It's easier than worrying about, to me, having a job is risky because you can get fired for one or two reasons, any reason or no reason at all, especially in, that's literal. That's Pennsylvania's an at-will state. So to me, that's risky. So think about that. Where are you at and where are you trying to go? And do you have to make yourself a new person? What do you have to get better at? What are you doing to make that transition? Are you reading 10 to 15 pages a day? What conferences are you going to? Who do you hang around? What masterminds are you part of? See, all of that is making the transformation. We want to move people up the it was similar to, she said her 4 C's of transformation, which I can't find my notes on that. I'll go into a little bit of that. I may do that next week. I may do a Facebook Live on that once I find my notes. And but we're tracking people, on the poverty ladder, where we take them from poverty. So the next level is poverty. It's subsistence, right? It's what is it? Poverty, subsistence, comfort. Right? So most traditional financial advice is just designed to get you to comfort. This is out of Kim Butler's book, the Busting the Financial Planning Live, right? And so comfort, you're okay. If everything stays okay, you'll be okay, right? But if you have a major setback, you could move from comfort back into subsistence, working paycheck, or you could go all the way back down to poverty. So if you listen to Damian Lupo, he went from affluence to poverty and back, but that's a ego trip. That we talked about how that messed with his self-esteem. and how to work through that. And most of that's mental. See, most of winning, folks, is a mental game that you have to get control over, right? And so the top of the mountain is prosperity, right? And so how do you get to prosperity? Well, there are principles for that. So if you email us, email me at kurtmay@gmail.com, I'll send you something, the 7 Principles of Prosperity, and you can, what I would do is I would print it out. I'd put it on my mirror. I would put it on my board, and I would look at that. And you would use that as an opportunity filter. Are you thinking? First step is think. So what are you doing to stimulate your thinking? What are you doing when you wake up? Are you grateful? Are you thinking with a scarcity mindset? Are you thinking with a prosperity or abundance mindset? And because if you start to think that way, scarcity thinking and coveting our neighbor's stuff is why we have a lot of the problems that we have, because we're scarcity and we think that if somebody wins, we have to lose. And if you understood prosperity, there is more than enough for everybody to have more than enough. And so that's got to be a mindset. So that's the transformation. That is the work that has to get done. So we're going to go a little bit deeper on that. But, how do you begin to work on your mental game? Well, can you read 8 to 10 pages a day of a good book? If you're trying to get control of your personal economy, will you do the work to, we have an app that you got to get in the habit of, tracking your stuff, getting a little app like Mileage IQ and doing your mileage and keeping good records, because that process will allow you to, write off a lot of stuff you already get paid for if you learn how to keep good records. So if you learn how to think like the banks, see, a lot of times when we're talking about becoming your own banker, the bankers think differently because money is their product. So they think differently than investors. They think differently than business owners. They actually think completely different than the consumers. But, they learn how to mitigate risk to near zero. They say things like Mr. Chris, who does private lending. He says things like deploy my capital, minimizing my risk, that type of stuff, where we just really loan money out, hope the market goes up. And, you can't do that. And so, but all of that work, all of that learning how to be a disciplined person, all that learning how money works, that's you getting educated. That is you, the transformation that we want to help you make is really, my goal is 3 parts. I want to help you eliminate dependency on bureaucratic situations, on, I've tried to eliminate that. I don't want to be dependent on bureaucracies of, compliance department, of broker dealers, or of captive, insurance agents, so the insurance component of my business. I want to be able to represent the client and do what's best for them. And so I studied, I never go into it with the thought process of, what can we sell them? I want to know what the problem is and how do we solve it? Most of the times what we're trying to do is free up cash flow for people so they can improve their life, improve their quality of life. The second opportunity, the transformation, is I try to help people relieve anxiety. See, most people are anxious when it comes to money because they've reached what I call a ceiling of complexity. Like they're like, boom, they're hitting their head up against that ceiling. And so, but if through education we can raise your ceiling of complexity, as your knowledge goes up, your anxiety comes down, because mentally you just have more choices in order to deal with, things that come at you. Okay. And, the third thing that we try to do is simplify complexity. One of the things I always tell my clients, 2 is 4, right? So I try to give them credit and give you credit for things you've done right. And I'm not trying to make you feel stupid because you don't understand this or you got a bunch of debt. Hell, it is what it is, right? And so now the first step is awareness. Now, how do we fix that problem? And so you've got to, enlist new thinking. And so, again, I'm going to say it's hard. It's intense. It's bloody. But if you do the work, you'll come out of it a better person for it, a stronger person for it, a leader, somebody that can lead your family, somebody that can create generational wealth, which is goal. right? The transformation to get you to the 4 pillars: freedom from debt to others, ready cash, passive income you don't have to work for, and the legacy, folks, of wisdom and wealth, or wealth and the wisdom to go along with that wealth, so you can perpetuate it on into the future. So listen, I want to do a short talk. Hopefully you have it. This comes out probably the day after Independence Day. So folks, are you celebrating your financial Independence Day? Do you have a financial independence number? Do you want one? Well, reach out to us. We're doing complimentary, what I call debt elimination or liability audits. So if you'd like to reach out to us, we will give you a 20-minute free consultation and give you kind of a debt strategy session to probably the first 10 people that email us, kurtmay@gmail.com. So listen, folks, have a great day. Be sure to check out get your free ebook in the link in the show notes. Financial Planning Has Failed. Learn a little more about prosperity economics. If you want, you can go to practicalwealthadvisors.com. Reach out, click the button, and put yourself on our calendar if you're ready. If you would like to talk for a 15-minute meeting, got ideas for the show, please send me. I had one of our listeners from California called me. We had a great conversation. She's in network marketing, so she wants me to do a show on network marketing. And I told you, I haven't said nothing but a word, because I love network marketing. I'm basically a network marketer, and I'll do financial trainings for network marketers, which I want to basically be the financial advisor to the network marketing industry. But when I'm giving my financial talks, I have recruited more people than most people in the room, in terms of training and building teams and that kind of stuff. So I call it the People's Franchise. So we will, 1 month, I think we'll do a whole month on side hustles in August, I think. And so because most people, their brain, they go on vacation mentally in July. So I'm going to wait till August. You're starting to, okay, wait, I need money for back to school. I need to make some money, right? So listen, have a wonderful day. Have a great holiday. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the Practical Wealth Show. Please listen, like, and share.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.